Well, this video is going to be about the 9/11 cult that runs America. You know, we all who were born in the 70s, 80s understand what happened at 9/11. And we don't have to mince words or argue. We know it was a sham, okay? And I'm just going to cut to it. We were raised to believe the wrong identity of everybody given. The Jews aren't really the Jews. The land of Israel over there may have some historical natures, but it's not anything pertinent except for a distraction and a lie to the themes of today and the real Israel. Having said that, they set up 9/11. Why? Because they're Kabbalists. They practice magic and blood magic, Kabbalah. And this is the Shabbat organization and people that run like the Lubavitcher death cult, that is the fake Jews. And they run the nation state of Israel. It was set up by the British government, who are pagan, and again, they practice ritual magic and sorcery, and they ended World War II with the whole idea is to give you a false identity of the Jews and a false biblical understanding, because they knew it was the end now, the end of Satan's little season, and they knew that they would have to fill your head full of nonsense in order to pull off magician-like stuff, like the MAGA movement. MAGA, which means wizard, magician. Donald Trump is a high order of Satan. He practices magic. And 4547 is 9/11. And if you look up Revelation 9/11, you will see that they elected a king over them, the king of the bottomless pit, who in the Greek is Abaddon. Abaddon. Yeah. I know it sounds too far out, but it is what it is. Okay, and if you look between the eclipses and you look them up starting, I think it was in 2017, the midway point, exactly on December 14th of 2020, the midway point, I think it was December 14th, 2020, is when the vax was given out. Okay, he deceived the whole world with his pharmakia, and he rewrote everybody's human genome that took it. He rewrote their blood. The spirit's in the blood. People aren't acting the same anymore. People are technically not considered human and can't reproduce. So we've already been hit by a weapon of mass destruction. We're living through the fallout of a biochemical nightmare. And you're seeing that Donald Trump is the Antichrist. 45, 47, 9/11, Abaddon. And did he not shut the world down and fool everybody into taking something against what they would normally, because they were subverted, you see? And was not America, the land of the free, heavily trained for 20 years in heightened security since 9/11? Back to 9/11, if you show the destruction of buildings and you dramatize it to seem as if the most sincere people of your society were the victims, like the police and the fire. And let's get that out there. There are some real victims of this false flag, but it was a false flag done by this Khazarian people to cast magic on you, to open up your soul with emotion through playing that 9/11 on the TV, through having a story behind it, to form a 9/11 cult and program you to this very day, actually program you to 2019 to pull off what happened in 2019. And this country, this false state of Israel that is of the synagogue of Satan, is pulling off, is owning our White House. They've sent all of their people into our land. You see them showing up everywhere. Well, gee, I wonder why. That's right. It's conquering through peace. Yeah, conquering through peace. And, they brainwash the American church. So the all-American church thinks the nation state of Israel is the biblical Israel right now. And that's nonsense. And I'm going to cite replacement theology. The church is Israel. We are the blue. And when you have Christ, you have the blue. You have it in your etheric field, in your etheric body, your auric field. You are with the Most High, so you are the blue. Of course, you wouldn't know that if you were raised to think that it was somebody else. Doesn't that sound familiar? Giving your birthright away to somebody else, like for a bowl of porridge. Wouldn't you say that's what it's like if you are indeed Israel? You're the chosen one of God, and you say, no, 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 I'm not. I'm not. The Shabbat organization is. They're the chosen ones. Yeah. No, I'm not Israel. That land in the Middle East is. And now we're going to validate everything they do as an act of divine love of the one true living God, even though it's satanic. Wake up. And it all has to do with this 9/11 cult running America. You know, with the police and the fire, all behind this great dramatic event that happened on TV. And did they not erect a bottomless pit that's black and shaped like a cube at 9/11? Doesn't that tell you anything? So now they've effectively brainwashed everybody with that vax. I don't think there's any redemption for them. And you have a remnant of humanity that's living here that understands what's going on. You know, I'm covered by the grace of God. I don't react but to instruct and inform. All vengeance is God's. But these are the vile, wicked times we live in. And we're still living in this 9/11 cult because everybody's living after 9/11. If you think about what it was like before 9/11, nothing you see being done today could have been gotten away with unless 9/11 was done first. And who it was done by, and the type of magic they practice, and how that vexed an American nation, and how some of that vexing is wearing off now. But a lot more needs to happen if there's any redeemable people out there. I feel like that man at the end of Titanic on the lifeboat saying, hello, hello, is there anyone there? Can you hear me? That's what I'm doing. You've been brainwashed, you've been lied to. And now the most decent Americans, people like myself, people who have the indwelling of the Holy Spirit, people who are truly the blue, we are gang-stalked and targeted. We who have a lot of gifts and much knowledge to offer, we are the enemies. I wonder why. I wonder why we're the enemies. And so you must think about this. You must pray on it. You know, especially if you're American and you find yourself leaning in these categories of this 9/11 programming that has to do with Donald Trump. Revelation 9/11. He is 45, 47. If you add that up, 9/11. He is Abaddon. Abaddon in Revelation 9/11 once more. And the 7 years of tribulation has passed and wrath is about to happen. And unfortunately, I really believe that was the mark of the beast. I believe people rewrote their blood. I believe all they have to do is put the technological stuff up for the economy, and their hands are already scannable and their foreheads scannable because it's in the blood, you see. The technology's in the blood. They know who's who. Because your auric field got hacked when you were rewritten. I don't know why I felt I should get on here and do a little talking on this 9/11 cult that's running our country under their king, who is just oppressively evil and anti-human and has effectively wiped out the human genome, wiped out the human race, made reproduction a no-go, the last race to bear children of humanity. All because of this man. And if anybody could go from here forward with this man, then you've turned your back on your God, you've turned your back on humanity.